Alright, so I'm back, and today we're going to take a look at the Power of the Prime's Grimlock. As usual, I'm not going to bother with the combined mode until I have the full set of dinos. But also, part of me wants to say, who cares about the combined mode, because it looks horrible. He comes with these 2 feet, and this little, whatever majigger they call it, I don't know anymore. Hollow silver piece of plastic, little red paint in there. Stick it into these feet. These are for the combined mode, and you can just, I guess you can plug these on here if you wanted to. I don't know. Port here, you can plug here. It's really it. So yeah, set those off for now. And here he is in his Dino mode. And I gotta say, overall, I think it looks nice. I think it's a little wide here at the hips, making him kind of almost look like he's got a diaper on. This profile looks pretty decent, and then the back here's got some gaping holes, mostly due to the combined mode, which kind of sucks, but I'll accept it. Legs here, you know, they're kind of thick here, skinny here, and then kind of thick here. If someone were to, like, clip this section here out, I think we could probably fold this arm up a little bit more and get it to close up a little bit more, but then the legs would be a little stumpier. So I don't know how well that would look. Poseability wise, his head does look up and down. There's no swivel there. It does open and close. Head sculpt is really, really G1. I mean, they nailed that. Shoulders, or the dino shoulders, are on ball joints. Hips ratchets up and down. There's a swivel in and out. Bicep swivel. Hinge at the knee. Then another hinge at the knee that bends it forward. Nothing at the foot. And the tail kind of ratchets a little bit. But yeah, outside of that, I think it looks pretty good. Issue I have here is, you know, where would you put it scale-wise? Here he is with, you know, Classics Prime. And that's way too small. Here he is with the Deluxe Classics Prime, who's missing an arm still. I cannot find it. And that, I would still say, is too small. And here he is with like a Legends Prime, and that's probably more an appropriate scale there. So if you're looking for scale issues with this guy, you know, I would say Legends maybe. Problem with that then goes into, here's his slag, who I think is a little too small here, but I guess it's okay. We can kind of say that works, I guess. So maybe Legends scale here for Dino mode. Definitely not chug scale. Definitely not chug scale. Alright, so let's get him transformed. Fairly simple transformation here. Just flip this section here back. And then we can take these sections here, flip them out. Take these here, and this will rotate up. Close up. Try and keep that tabbed in. This untabs for combiner mode. Again, something that's affecting the figure in a negative way to force it into being a combiner. Flip the hands out. There you go. Straighten the legs. Split the legs. This will fold back. This folds back. And then the head piece can come all the way back. And there you go. You got him in robot mode. And it's okay. For a $25 toy, I would say it's okay. It's not great. We've had better Voyager Grimlocks in the past. But it's passable, I guess. Transform Slag here real quick. I think the legs are very kind of thin looking in comparison to the torso. Arms are okay with the torso, I'd say, but like waist down it looks a little bit smaller. Torso, I think, should be smaller than what we got there. That's a little unfortunate. I think he looks very barrel chested. Not exactly a look that I would be looking for my Grimlock myself. We'll do some size comparisons here in a second. Here, I'm just trying to transform Slag off screen so we can have him ready. Alright. And he's ready now. Okay. Poseability, while we're here. Head, it's on a ball joint, so you get a little up, a little down, left and right. Shoulders ratchet up and down. This one seems to be pretty well tolerant. This one is a little... They hinge in and out. They're the same kind of like Poseability. So you get the swivel here, double bend elbow, nothing at the wrist. Waist swivels. You gotta watch this piece back here. It does try and get caught up. Hips, soft ratchet up and down. Another ratchet in and out. Thigh swivel. Nice tight ratchet knee. And absolutely nothing at the feet. He basically does not even have feet. Just kind of shins that go into blocks. I've seen there's a mod somewhere where you can get the combiner feet attached somehow. I don't know. I have not really looked into that because I don't really care. Scale wise, here he is with his counterpart. And I think he's a little bit too big for him. That's one of the biggest issues with making the Dinobots combiners. Is you're going to end up with, either you have Sludge, and nobody's done this, but have Sludge as the combiner because he's the bigger dinosaur, which, I could understand. I still don't think they should combine, but either way, you're going to have somebody that's much bigger than the other. So yeah, the rest of the line is going to be about this size, and he's going to stand out because he's so much thicker and taller. Here he is with Classics Prime, and he's just a little bit bigger than Classics Prime, so scale-wise, I'd say this is acceptable. He's almost the same size, so I could sit here and if somebody would argue that he's really well scaled for Chug. I wouldn't argue with you, because it's not bad. Here he is with the Legends Prime and the Deluxe Prime. I would say way too big for Legends, still a little too big for Classics, for my personal preference, or the Deluxe Classics. So I'd say this is probably the best scale you're going to get here, is this one, I think. And again, it's one of those you could make the same argument with him as you could with him, and I'd say, okay, you know what, you're okay. Let's see here, what else we got here? Here's with Classics Grimlock, who actually would probably scale better with these guys. He would work better with these guys than he does. So there's that. Here he is with a superior Grimlock, I'd say. And that's the Fall Cybertron one. Because guess what? The biggest difference in between these two, he's not a combiner. and he makes a more successful Grimlock. And of course, because we just did all this the other day, there he is with the Fans Project Grimlock, who just kind of towers over him, mass and height. So yeah, there you go. The thing is, one thing I want to kind of go over. So he's got these feet here, and he's got the little thing. Fans Project gets criticism because they can't hold their weapons. At least they come with weapons, though. No gun, no sword, no shield, nothing. He comes with 2 feet for combined mode that looks awful. Even if the combined mode looks good, he still comes with no weapons. I think what they really should do, and I've said this many times, they should have molded this into a gun, molded this into the sword, and all the combiner elements in here, they should have re-engineered it to make him a superior figure. You look at him, he's a much better looking figure than he is. I love the Fans Project one in comparison too. I think he just steals the show out of this group of dinos. I don't think this is as successful as it could have been, and that is strictly because of the combiner gimmick. And if you take a look, it's kind of funny. You take a look at the way his head attaches to this black piece, and then it's kind of sitting inside this chest piece here. It almost looks like it's a little man in a big mech suit. and he's just kind of trying to steer it, but it's a little too big for him. I don't see it as being a superior product to other Grimlocks that are already out there. Again, I do think he's better than Classics Grimlock. I'll say that. But he doesn't scale with his own team as well as the Classics Grimlocks. So it really kind of makes the question of, the only reason why a collector, mind you, a collector would purchase this guy, I would be to get the whole set, but I don't think he works well with the set. I don't think he's going to be a satisfied collecting figure. Now, he's not even that much of a satisfied toy due to the combiner gimmick. It kind of hinders it. The stickers on this guy is not nearly as bad as the Starscream. I will say that. He does have them, but they're applied relatively well. So there's stickers here and here. Autobot logo there. Some more stickers back here. You can see they're starting to peel. But there's not as many of them as the Starscream. Not as big, and they're not covering stuff that's covered in detail. They're actually on flat surfaces, so they're not as bad. I won't fault them really for that. Trying to make it look a little bit better without having to spend the money for paint. Fine. But when, the torso can kind of come apart when you're finagling the arms, and then this doesn't really lock in because of the combiner gimmick. I mean, all of this is just because they couldn't fit the combiner element into it properly. And then you got this piece hanging off the back. I think... I don't hate it. It's not like the Starscream where it's just it's so god awful that it's just terrible. But it is in that realm. I'm gonna give it a 5 out of 10. I don't like it. I think it could have been done much better. I don't know what else to say. It has. The worst part about this is that it shows potential for Hasbro to be able to knock a Dinobot out of the park. but they just can't quite get it right with this one. I don't like it. I don't.